Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kyrus Has Friends podcast. I'm your host, Kyrus Keenan Westcott. I don't often do intros like this before my podcast, but I wanted to make sure that I addressed a few things before today's episode, especially given the current climate after the lack of sentencing surrounding the murder of Breonna Taylor. In today's episode, I will be talking with Mark Henley. Mark is a conservative and registered Republican, and those of you that know me know that I am a proud liberal. This episode was filmed 4 days before the airing of this episode, which is why we don't broach the topic of the Breonna Taylor decision on this podcast. As you'll see, Mark and I don't really agree on much of anything, especially around topics like President Trump, Black Lives Matter, among other things. I have him on my show strictly to ask him questions about his mindset and to get an understanding as to why he feels the way he feels and vice versa. While I wholeheartedly don't agree with where he stands on a lot of these topics, I did not invite Mark on to attack him or read him the riot act. In fact, you'll probably notice me literally bite my tongue a few times during this interview. I do this because it's not my intention to attack or change his mind. It's to understand, have a conversation, and hopefully explain why liberals feel the anger that we feel regarding conservatives and their actions and the things that they post. With that said, Mark and I talked for close to 2 hours. I edited down the interview to 1 hour for the sake of easy consumption, just focusing on the highlights. I'll be posting the full uncut version of this interview at a later date. But until then, with that said, thank you for watching. Here's the interview, and never forget. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kyrus Has Friends, the show where I sit down with the people that mean the most to me, and those people are my friends. Before we get to our special guest today, if you want, go visit me on my favorite social media platforms. Go visit me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Vibe with Kai. You can also follow me on Snapchat and on TikTok at Kyrus Keenan. And of course, you can follow me on my website, thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs and videos and reviews and things that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. Yeah, I'm sitting here with fellow actor. I mean, he does everything. He works on the stage, behind the scenes, whatever you need him to do, he'll do it. Stage, screen, whatever it is. I mean, he's there doing his thing. Mr. Mark Henley, what's good, man?
What's going on? I really appreciate the opportunity to sit here and chat with you.
Yeah,
It's a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. No, so before we get into all of this, I just want to check up on you as a human being. How are you holding up in the pandemic world?
I'm blessed. I'm still working, so that's good because there's many of us that aren't working. So I'm good. I've been healthy, no symptoms, none of that stuff. So yeah, I'm doing great, man. How
Nice,
about
man.
yourself?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I tell people all the time that 2020 is what you make of it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So like obviously nobody wants this year to play out the way that it did. Nobody wants that. But alas, there's so much stuff that we can't control. But
yeah.
what we can control is ourselves,
Mhm.
right? So we have to make the decision about what we're going to do with that piece of information. What are we going to do about ourselves and the things that we can control? So 2020 has been a blessing for me, you know, like I try to make the most of it. I try to make the best of it and just keep plowing forward. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, that's me, man. I'm doing all right. I'm doing good, dude. I have so many questions, so I kind of want to get right into this. So for those of you that don't know myself and don't know Mark, I'm just gonna put it out bluntly. All right. So I am liberal. I support Joe Biden. I support Kamala Harris. Support Barack Obama. I'm not a registered Democrat. I don't plan on ever being a registered Democrat. I don't associate with any party. But I am full-fledged voting for Biden Harris this year. I'm saying this because I want to make sure that people know exactly my mindset as we lead into everything. And then I'm speaking with Mark Henley, who is the opposite, who is proudly voting for Donald Trump and Vice President Pence. And so what happened was, Mark, has let his views be known, which is perfectly fine because that's the world we
Yeah.
live in.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? but like one of the things that stood out to me is a couple different things. Number one, as you can see, if you're watching right now, you can see Mark is a black man. He is black. Number two, he works in an industry that, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, usually leans liberal.
Yeah,
Right?
heavy, very
Heavy
heavy.
liberal, right?
Hmm.
And you outwardly come out and say, understandably so, you know, who you support, which is fine. Anybody has the right to do that, obviously.
Hmm.
So I guess my first question to you is this: what is it like being a black man working in a liberal industry that outwardly supports Donald Trump?
It's as you can imagine, it's very challenging. I've lost a lot of friends. I don't know if I could ever call them friends if they could just leave me so easily for my opinions and my views, but whatever. But yeah, it is very challenging to be in an industry where it's heavy one side of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and it's unfortunate that it is that way, but it's kind of weird because I've lost opportunities recently over it, and I don't understand. Like, I'm not hurting anybody, I'm not disrespecting anybody, uh, and it's just because I think a little different. So yeah, it
Right.
is
I
challenging.
I guess do they explain why, or do they just say I'm out?
It's just I'm out. It's simple. It's either like it goes like it's a pattern. It's like I'm unfollowing this guy, or like I can't deal with Mark, or this. It's just a rapid pattern of like I'm done with him. Instead of like you said, I'm not getting an explanation. It's just like I can't mess with this guy
And
anymore.
how does that make you feel?
Um, it definitely stings a little,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm like, well, I guess God has a different plan of the type of people that I need to be around, because if I've never in my life said that I'm not talking to someone because they don't like butter pecan ice cream, you know.
Sure, sure. I mean, yes, but I mean, let's be real. Like the
Yeah.
butter buttercream ice cream is not
Excuse me, butter pecan. Butter
butter
pecan.
pecan, you know. But I mean, honestly, though, I mean that ice cream is not the fate of the world. The fate of the world and
I have
people's
to beg to
lives.
differ. It's delicious.
Well, yes,
I'm messing
sure,
with you.
sure. But you know, I guess before, if you had to guess
Hmm.
why they're calling it a day and they're saying I'm not following Mark anymore, what would you say? What would you say your honest reason is? Your guess?
My honest guess and my honest opinion, because it's my opinion, is
Hmm.
that uh, as we both established, that they're in an industry where it's heavy that way. So for them, it's like I gotta follow the herd, and the bulk of the people aren't dealing with him because of this. So neither am I. I have friends of parents that, of course, I'm not going to disclose, where their kids are heavy liberal, but their parents aren't, and they've reached out to me and they're like, "Mark, this is crazy. Um, I don't know why people are treating you this way, and you just speaking freely."
Right, right. So, but do you? What is your guess? Why? Why would you like? Why would you think that they would do that?
Well, like I said, because if the group is thinking a certain way, then for them it's hard for them to think for themselves. This is just my opinion.
Sure, sure. And
Um,
I do. I'm gonna interrupt you for a
mhm,
second though, because
right.
like I do get that aspect of it in regards to like like a herd mentality kind of thing. I get
Mhm,
that, right? However, I'm talking like more specifically, right? So you know, let's be real. There's one of the reasons why some people may want to, I guess, disassociate is because of the person that you are supporting, right?
mhm,
Right.
right.
And they feel that you are supporting somebody that has disenfranchised people that many of you, and like I'm not like I'm trying to be as like middle road here as possible, just so you know, like people watching and listening right now, like I told Mark beforehand, I'm not here to attack Mark, I'm not here to fight with him or try to convince him otherwise. I'm just like, my main goal is to get a full understanding, because I know for a fact that there's going to be people listening right now being like, well, no, get on top of them and punch them. Like, that's not my goal. That's not my goal right now. But a lot of people may feel as though your support for President Trump is a knock against them, and like the things that they feel he stands for is so out in left field and scary and racist and sexist that it's hard for them to, I guess, see how anybody that they work with could support something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is that the way that you see it as well? Like, not like opinion of Trump aside, but like, do you feel that that's what's going through people's heads?
Yeah, definitely. Because I feel like the opinion of the president there's variations of it on both sides, and yes, I agree that that is the thought process that our theater friends have, and obviously I don't agree with it, but I still don't understand how we can't have a conversation like
Sure.
when you and I are right now. That doesn't happen. It's just like, it goes from a little Facebook rant to like, I don't want to talk to him, to like, I'll never cast him, and it's just like, okay,
Right.
cool.
Right. So that's the theater side. From the African American community, are
Okay.
you seeing similar like feedback from them, or is it a little bit different?
It's a lot worse,
It's
actually.
a lot worse.
Yeah, I've gotten death threats.
Death threats.
Yeah, sent to my job and stuff like that, and it's just blows me away because a quick little history lesson on myself. So I lived in Camden as a kid, and we moved to Cherry Hill. Lived all over South Jersey, by the way. But we moved to Cherry Hill poor, and the black people in Cherry Hill had money. We didn't. So I was being degraded by people that look just like us because I couldn't afford Jordans and things of that matter. So like I've dealt with racial prejudice from both sides. So like I guess that's why I'm able to see things a little differently. And it just kind of it bothers people. It's unsettling for them. And but yes, the black community theater side, yeah, it's a lot worse. Yeah.
I guess I'll use that to kind of, I guess, segue into Black Lives Matter, because I know you have your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter?
My thoughts on it is I don't need a slogan to tell me that I matter. I feel like the theme of it alone is division, and I just don't get behind that, because at the end of the day, like, my skin doesn't reflect who I am.
No, you don't believe that at all?
No, absolutely not. I believe that.
What does that mean? What would it reflect?
Well, what I mean by that is, like, just because I'm black, like, I'm not I'm not empowering something different than somebody else. Like, my heart is going to tell you who I am, not my skin. That's just something that I've always been strong on since I was a kid.
Have you ever experienced, um, any kind of situations that are being highlighted by the Black Lives Matter movement right now?
Um, in regards to like me
Like
being
blatant racism or profiling
towards myself,
towards you? Yes.
uh, I wouldn't. So it's funny that you say that. I actually, of course, I'd be lying if I said I've never experienced racism. That's crazy. But I will say that I've never experienced this amount of racism until I fully came out that, I was a registered Republican and a conservative. Like, it kind of blows my mind. Like, I've had like white individuals uh, attack me racially on many ways recently, posting my address on Facebook, saying I'm Uncle Tom. This is the same people that are having like Black Lives Matter rallies. So it just is it baffles me that because I don't agree, it's like I need to do one or two things. I need to either shut up or disappear. And
Do you feel that the actions of a few people represent the entire movement?
No, but the thing is, it's not a few people. It's a large amount of people across the country. I mean, David Dorn was a Black man just like us. He got shot during these riots. He's 75 years old, got a wife, got a grandson, got grandkids, all that, and people that look like us killed him. And I mean, I could sit here and go all day. It's just a plethora of them.
So what do you feel if you had to explain the Black Lives Matter movement to someone, what would you say the goal is of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Are you asking what do I think the goal is in a whole, or?
Mm-hmm. So like
Okay.
when we see these mostly peaceful protests happen, what are they shouting about?
See, and that's interesting that you say that, because what's funny, the protest where I was like, you know what, there's hope for this thing, was the one, I don't know if you were there or you recall it. It was in Camden. I mean, I was blown away. They were barbecuing with the police officers. I mean, there was no fights, there was no riots. I mean, it was just friendly and just peaceful. Like, that's how it should be across.
Is it fair for me to say that that's how majority of the Black Lives Matter movements or protests have gone, but the only thing that we see on the TV are the riots?
I mean, if that's how you're viewing it, I'm with it. But unfortunately, like I've actually organized Blue Lives Matters rallies right here in Haddon Township, and I've been approached by BLM with just just hate and racial slurs, and if the police weren't there, God knows what could have happened. So I just feel like across the country, I mean, it's not so peaceful. I mean, it's actually pretty dangerous. There's people dying at some of these protests.
And do you feel that, like, because I don't, because like sometimes when I think of some of the conservatives, or sometimes when people think of the conservatives in general that are voting for Trump, a lot of them sometimes think of people like the Klan, right?
Yeah.
They think of blatant racists down south, right? And like, I don't associate you with that.
No.
So is it fair for me to say that some of the individuals that may be going a little bit too extreme with the Black Lives Matter movement, even though we have, the same title, I guess, is it fair to say that the actions of a few people on my end don't represent the entire movement as a whole?
Well,
Because I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you, because like
yeah.
like when I think of like the lynchings that have happened this year by blatant racists
Mm-hmm.
that most likely are voting for Donald Trump, I'm not going to sit here and say, "What's up?"
I said, or not.
Or not.
Yeah.
Right. But most likely they probably are. They're not. They're most likely, right? So, but I would never associate that with you, right? Because I know you.
You know me.
I know you. So like I wouldn't let the actions of these blatant racists that broke the law, that are doing something that is just wrong,
Mhm.
affect my opinion of you and your thoughts on Blue Lives Matter, and racism in general and social justice and all of that. Um, is it fair to say the reverse for me?
Yeah, I would be a fool to disagree with that. No, I don't think that, I mean, especially yourself, like, I don't think that you want some sort of uprising to take over the country with black people and get rid of all the whites. No, that's not what I think your goal is. Like, there's plenty of people like yourself that just want peace and you just want, your fair share and all
Mm-hmm.
those things. But that could go vice versa with the police. Like, it's the same thing, like where
The actions of a few, but I feel like that's a little bit different though. I do feel that because like there can't like that's like you've probably already seen it, but like Chris Rock does a beautiful rendition of this when he talks about like the bad apple theory, right?
mm-hmm.
Like
I
there's
see
just
what
some
you mean.
black like bad apples. You know where I'm going with this, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
just for the sake of the people that don't know. So what Chris, I'm gonna butcher this joke, but I'm not even gonna try to attempt it because I'm not Chris Rock. Um, but more or less, what Chris Rock is saying is there's just some jobs that can't have bad apples. For example, pilots. If a pilot crashed a plane into a mountain and killed everybody on board, the airport or the airline can't come on and be like, well, it's just a bad apple. So, do you feel that there is some sort of issue between the systemic oppression of urban communities where Black people most likely live and the police force?
So, somebody that has lived on both sides of the fence, like I just believe that, so people in the urban community, they're missing something really important that, is funny that's in BLM's mission statement. There's something in their statement where they say that they want to disrupt the nuclear family, the Western prescribed nuclear family, which is the mother and the father. And that is something that is deeply missing. And what comes with that is if you don't have your father and you're getting watched by your uncle or whatever, your grandmom or something like that, there's just no structure. And then from that structure, you get into devious things. And in regards to the police, I feel like it sounds like I'm just making it sound so easy, but it really is. Like these kids turn into adults, and then through that process, they're not taught to comply with the police. And I know me saying that, I'll get called Uncle Tom, like, oh my God, Mark, like, you can't just, like, what are you supposed to just roll over and do what they say? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you're arguing with somebody with a gun, and they are guardians to our community. So if you feel like you're being handled wrong, comply and then have your day in court. I mean, I've been in this situation a number of times, and I'm sitting here talking to you. Never been hurt by the police. I've never been billy clubbed and all that stuff. So,
Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's not just about that one situation where a person is not complying with the law, because we have to look at everything that led them up to that point. And me personally, that's what I feel like the Black Lives Matter movement is about. I don't think it's just about what you do when you get pulled over. Does that make sense? Right? Because like I don't feel like it's just about that, because I feel like that is one section of it in like it's like a portion of it, but like we're talking about systemic issues and systemic ideologies that work at a disadvantage for Black people. Sometimes it's maybe sometimes, and you said it before, sometimes it's other Black people viewing it this way as well, for these poor communities, right? So when I put it that way, does it in any way, um, I guess, provide any insight into the Black Lives Matter movement and why, like, people like me are on board?
Well, so uh, first thing, I don't believe that you might spit your coffee out. I don't believe.
Oh, hold on. Wait, let me prep myself for this. Okay, hold on. All right. All right, I'm ready. Give it to
Like
me.
so here's my thing, man.
Oh
So
boy.
if you'd have told me 60 years ago, like, man, Mark, we got it real hard here. This systemic racism is really kicking our butt. Then it's like, okay. But then even back then, I mean, you got Ray Charles, Blind Man. I mean, this man made music that we still jam to today. I
Sure.
mean, his royalty contract was bigger than Sinatra. Like, I mean, it's so many people. The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Al Green. This is just music where it was systemic racism, where that was when you had to go to a different bathroom. That's when you couldn't apply for certain jobs. But today, I I don't know where you can go in America where your race is going to prevent you from an opportunity. Uh, I mean, even today, the number one comedian in the country, he's black. Last time I checked.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's dealing with systemic racism, I need some of it.
So are you saying that, are you hinting that racism doesn't exist today?
No, absolutely not. It of course racism exists, and honestly, it's never going to go anywhere. But to say that there's a systemic form of racism where, like, to the point where it could prevent us from getting somewhere, or it's going to keep us somewhere, I just, me personally, I don't agree with it. Like, especially in the Black community, a lot of these people are leaning on these aids from the government that are mostly designed by Democrats that keep them there, where I'm talking about welfare, Section 8, things of that matter.
So do you feel that like like some of the students that may be living in inner cities that don't have the best educational system, do you feel that they are at a disadvantage because they do not receive the same type of education as somebody in Haddon Heights?
Well, before I answer that, we also have to acknowledge that there's going to be white kids in that school too that are going to have the same disadvantage, because the education is.
I don't disagree with that. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with that. But what I'm saying is that, like, there are white children that, are going to be in either school.
Mm-hmm.
However, in the poorer schools, they're most likely, like, the majority of the people are probably going to be African Americans. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So do you feel that the students in Camden are getting the same type of education as the students in Haddon Heights?
Absolutely not. They're definitely not getting the same
And
education.
why is that?
Well, the infrastructure is different in both cities. I mean,
It's as if the system is wrong, right?
I wouldn't say the system is wrong. I mean, it's just, if the funds aren't there, they're not there. I
But
mean,
that's part of the system. That's
yeah,
the issue. That's the issue. So, like, it's hard for me to, like, sit here and say that Black people aren't at a disadvantage, because, like, for a majority of them they are, because, like, we talk about, like, people like Ray Charles and, like, yeah, that's obviously 100%. You listed off a bunch of people that, like, I look up to, and 100%. But unfortunately, there's a reason why Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder and Al Green are one of a kind.
yeah,
You
but
know,
there's one of a kind. I mean, we all can make our own way. I mean,
I don't disagree. I
yeah.
don't disagree. Everybody can make their own way. I just think that sometimes for Black people, sometimes it's harder.
I mean, okay, so you can flip that around. So how about this? Like,
Hmm.
we can both agree that if you go to a track meet for 100-meter dash, most likely it's a Black guy winning it, right?
Sure.
Okay, so there's white people that could say the same thing in that regards, like, my son, can't get on here,
But
but
that's a skill that somebody, like with some most of the time natural ability, right? That
well,
like
but
obviously
that's
the training will help. Obviously, I think that my issue isn't necessarily with the individuals; it's with people being able to provide the opportunities that sometimes people won't have. For all we know, there might be some kids in Center City, Camden that are like really good singers but don't have the same opportunities as somebody in Haddon Heights that is an singer but has more of a chance to make it because they have the books and the training and the teachers and where all of this money is being poured into where the money isn't. So like to me that's a systemic issue. I could talk about Black Lives Matter all day. I do I sorry I kind of get into it there, but there are a couple other things that I want to kind of like chat to you about if you don't mind. Okay, so first and foremost, make America great again.
mm,
What the hell does that mean?
it means to me that a time where people were just proud to be an American, and one time in particular I could tell you is the days after 9/11. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Sure, so do I.
Um, I remember driving to school, driving to high school, and just seeing all the flags and just seeing people embracing each other, because as a nation we were just hurt, and we stood up together. Like that's what that means to me, and I think that's kind of what it means to a lot of people that stand behind it.
Do you feel that I love this country as much as you do?
Sure. Am I wrong?
No, I think I do. I think I 100%, yeah,
I mean, I
absolutely.
would hope
But
so.
I say that I asked that because you did mention you said that going back to a time where people were highlighting their love for the country and all of that. Could I argue that people protesting now are coming together because they love this country and they are fighting for this country that they love and they want to see it improve?
uh I would say that I would agree with you that a majority of people are doing that, but from what I've seen personally, that's just not what I'm seeing. Like
But a majority of people are doing it.
sure, yeah, I'd be a fool to say that that's not
But it's
that
just a
there's
small section of people that are not doing it.
uh it's a
But I mean, I'm just taking your words. You said that a majority of people
no,
are.
yeah, what I said was a majority of people definitely want to come together and improve. And I
Mhm.
mean, you put the small in there.
I'm okay, fine, but fine. The not the. I mean, when I think of majority, I think of the larger half.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig it.
So the larger half of people are love this country, and we can't let the actions of a few people tarnish that, right?
Yeah, but it's just when you say a few, it's so
Sure, it might be a lot of people, but to your
it's
point, you said a majority of people, right?
yeah,
Uh-huh. So
yeah,
like I'm pretty sure a majority of conservatives that are decent people, 100%. I don't
sure,
believe that every conservative is racist. I don't, right? I think
definitely
I
not.
can confidently say majority of conservatives are most likely not racist.
Yeah,
But there's a few.
sure.
uh,
Uh,
do you feel that they should appoint a new justice before
um,
the election?
honestly, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not, because they were trying to get her out long before, and it's so before I with RPG, dude, what she did, like, for
She's a renegade. She's amazing.
yo, she's
She's
amazing.
amazing.
I have
Yes.
no,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm really sad that
yeah,
she's not here.
yeah. I mean, but and on another note, I've seen this on local municipalities. I have a lot of friends that are lawyers,
Hmm.
and I actually like I had this thing where I get bored and I attend like trials and stuff. It's just really cool to see that. But I have friends that they'll tell me how these judges, they'll hold these seats like until their dying day.
Yeah.
And I mean that's admirable and all, but at the same time, like if you're not able to do your duties properly, you're actually
hurting the system.
yes.
Sure.
The system, and it creates kind of like a
Sure.
systemic thing, like you say. So
Oh, you're acknowledging there's a systemic issue?
are
you acknowledging it? Do I have you on tape doing that?
We're doing that right now.
Do I have you on tape acknowledging out loud that there is a systemic oppression issue? Gotcha. Okay, got it. All right, I think the interview's done now. I got what I needed.
I got Mark. He said it on tape.
So you do feel that they should replace her before the election, or before the? I'm sorry. Let me clarify. Before whether Trump wins or not, before the next term begins for whomever is president.
I mean, yeah, because they would have done it in any other situation. So
you don't feel as if that the fact that it's an election year that they should not.
No, I don't think that it'll.
Is that how you felt in 2016 as well, with Merrick Garland?
Yes.
You felt that the Republicans should have allowed Merrick Garland to be at least vetted.
Yeah.
How would you grade Trump's response to the pandemic? It's a simple question. What's a simple question? I know what grade he would give himself. What grade would you on a typical school grade A, B, C, D, F? or participation trophy. What grade would you give President Trump on the pandemic?
So what I would give Potus on the pandemic is an A, and I will say
A.
Yes, and I'm gonna say this because he dealt with a lot of forms of government that didn't allow his help, including the state that we live in right now. And he just did the best that he could with what he had in front of him. I mean, the 3 states neighboring us were just not cooperative.
Do you feel that the states were backed into a corner because of his inaction leading up to it?
No, I feel like he was kind of backed into a corner because of their inaction. Because I mean,
I'm talking about before the outbreaks got here, though, right? When everybody knew that it wasn't a thing. Everybody knew that it was going to be a big thing, I should say, but it was, I guess, downplayed by our government.
Well, he tried to make flight restrictions and then called them racist and all that stuff. So like once again, it's like he could cure cancer and they'll still
So you're saying that him downplaying, saying that it's going to go away in a couple weeks, was a good strategy?
Well, I feel like this is a situation like with one of my favorite poets, Edgar Allan Poe. He said, don't believe nothing that you hear and only half of what you see. And I think that Potus was dealing with that with the pandemic. I just don't understand why this whole country was shut down for 6% of people dying from this thing, and we got people dying from malaria. Black people, 400,000 blacks in Africa dying every day, and they never shut nothing down for that. So that's kind of where I think he was coming from with that.
Do you acknowledge the depth of the danger of somebody getting COVID-19?
Sure. But
do you know anybody personally that got malaria?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say was, I have a good friend that he went to South Africa probably like 5 years ago, and they almost didn't let him back because of it. I mean, he was on his deathbed. Malaria is no joke. It literally kills 400,000 people every year.
Do you feel that we right now have a better understanding of malaria than we did 5 years ago?
Absolutely not. Because
No.
no, because 400,000 people per year have been killed from it since.
In the United States?
No, I'm talking about in Africa.
Okay, so let's talk about in the United States. Do you know of anybody in the United States that
No,
has died of malaria or have
no,
contracted malaria in the United
no.
States?
No, but I was trying to give you an example of.
Yeah, no, I understand. But just for the record, you don't know anybody in the United States that has contracted.
Yeah,
Or
this person I was
this
talking
person,
about.
but like, I'm sorry. Let me clarify.
No,
In the United States,
absolutely
like
not.
went to a grocery store, touched a handle, and got malaria.
No, no.
Okay. Do you know anybody that has contracted COVID-19?
Sure.
So would you say that it is a more pressing issue than malaria
No.
in the United States
Well,
right now?
I don't. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't. Oh man.
I'm not. I'm literally just trying to understand.
No,
Like
no,
I'm just trying to understand.
I'm with you. I just know I'm gonna get all sorts of hate messages, but it's fine. It's all good. I love it.
What you're giving me right now about malaria, I'm not downplaying the seriousness of malaria, but I do feel I got to challenge you on this, that it's a straw man's argument where you're trying to distract from the actual topic by bringing in something that doesn't necessarily relate to what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously malaria is an issue in like Africa.
Well,
But in the United States right now, there is a new disease that we don't understand that's killing 200,000 people this year, that is in the United States, that somebody can get. I could walk outside right now and contract COVID-19, and there's a chance that I die. Is the chance low? Sure. But that doesn't dispel the seriousness of it. I mean, right? Like, so like, could you see my point there? Like about comparing malaria to COVID-19?
I can see your point, but I disagree with it because I feel like the comparison is necessary because at the end of the day, whether it's in America or not, we can agree that this disease didn't start here. So
you put that in quotes. Wait, you put COVID-19 in quotes. You don't think it's real? You don't think COVID-19 is real?
Is it still being recorded?
It is. This is 100%. You just put that in quotes. Wait. You put wait. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is COVID-19 real? Oh my goodness.
I have no fear of it, sir.
I didn't ask that. Is COVID-19 real?
I think we're getting played with a hook, line, and sinker. So
you think so? You think it's gonna go away the Wednesday after election?
Magic button, man. I mean,
what
happened with the swine?
What?
Yeah.
Man. What?
Come on. Man.
Evidence do you have about that? What makes you? What? Where are you pulling this information from?
I'm sorry. It's just like it's election year, man.
No. That's Mark. That's bullshit. Come on. That is bullshit. Get out of here. You're church.
I ain't cursed the whole time.
I know.
I didn't know we could curse now.
Yes, yeah. You know what? We could curse now. That's bullshit. Get out. You feel that COVID-19 is a hoax that is going to go away the Wednesday after.
Wait. Let me
explain. You see what happened was.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the disease is a hoax. Do I think that they added some additional fear to it? Yes.
Who's they?
The government, the Democrats.
The Democrats. You're saying You're saying the Democrats got together and said, "Hey guys, there's this thing coming over from China. We're gonna play it up, and we're gonna kill 200,000 people so that Biden can win."
Nothing else was working.
You're saying that the Democrats got together with China and every country in the world and said, "Hey, we're going to play up this disease that you just put in quotes that's killing people around the world." The Democrats, AOC, you're saying that Alexandria Cortez got together in a meeting because I say that because you're wearing your socialism distancing hat. Right? You're saying that all the Democrats got together with every government around the world and said, hey, there's this thing happening in China. We want Biden to win. So we need you to play up this thing and kill a couple 100,000, if not millions of people.
Oh my God.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Oh my God, Mark. When did this meeting take place?
When did it take place?
Yes.
When they realized they need to get Potus out of there.
Wait, Mark. So you're saying, like, honestly, you're saying that the Democrats are pulling the strings on all of this.
So here's my thing, man.
Uh-huh.
All jokes aside. So
all jokes aside, let me tell you, you started out with the best joke. That was a funny joke. That was a really funny joke. That the Democrats are pulling the strings here and killing millions of people. That's hilarious. You should take that one on the road. Start off with that one on your stand-up set.
That's the thing, man. They just like this whole thing, like with these inflated numbers and like, you know.
What inflated numbers? Are you saying that the 200,000 people that have died is an inflated number?
If I go in my car, right?
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
I know you know where I'm going with it because it's true.
Is this the car accident BS theory? Please go ahead. Explain this so I can debunk this.
Right,
please.
You know what? Forget the car. Forget the car. I'm going to walk to my fridge. Whoops! I done tripped. I dead. Oh man, the coroners come in here. Whatever. Yeah, the coroners come in here. Man, he had COVID. That's why he tripped and died. I mean, that's the pattern, man. I have friends.
But okay, all right, pause though, because you gotta give me a second to debunk that nonsense because like nobody, like, here's the thing: if you had COVID, if you got COVID, which has all sorts of side effects, respiratory issues. Maybe you stumbled, you fell because you were stumbling because you had an issue with breathing, right? And you fall and you die. Yeah, sure. Maybe you died from blunt force trauma because you hit your head on the kitchen counter. Sure, that is the actual cause of death. But you wouldn't have fell in the first place if you didn't contract COVID-19. That is part of the cause.
I have this friend in Honduras, and I'll never forget. We were on the phone, and so in Honduras, it's like they stop the television program and then they do the news report, like most countries down there. And it said 300 people were just tested for COVID, and 600 came up positive.
What is your point?
My point is, they put those, obviously that's not mathematically possible.
Okay. And so you're saying that they said there was an additional 300.
Yes, but they changed it.
And you're saying that they did that because of Potus. I'm
not just saying that particular situation happened.
Then why use it? Wait. Okay. Just a couple more things because I can go all day. Couple more things. Climate change, is it real? Yes or no?
Sure.
Yes. Climate change is real.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, is that even a debate?
Yes, it is from your president.
I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, yeah, it's real, but I believe that
you believe in science and facts.
And as Potus does, sure, he believes in science. I don't know why.
Does he?
Sure, he does.
Does he?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I disagree. What questions do you have for me, Mark?
So, what is your biggest problem with Potus?
What is my biggest problem with?
Yeah,
Potus?
if you could pick out one problem, what is it? What issue?
Just one?
Just one. Just give me one.
One problem that I feel as though that he is emboldening racists, and he has not done a good job at disowning those racists.
Okay. And do you think that Joe Biden isn't racist?
I don't think Joe Biden is racist at all. I think Joe Biden has one of the biggest hearts in government.
Okay.
I think Joe Biden has gone through a lot of tragedy. I think he's an empath.
So like, are you familiar with his crime bill in
Yes,
'94?
I
Okay.
do, 100%. And here's the thing, like, if we're going to go back to the mid 90s, if you want to bring up mid 90s behavior,
Well, it's
we can
not.
easily go back and forth with how Trump treated African Americans and in Atlantic City, and treated workers in Atlantic City while he was building his hotels. But here's the thing: I'm not even going to argue. I'm not going to use that argument about what he did in the 90s, because I'll let his actions speak in the last 4 years. I 100. And then here's the other thing: Biden's platform is more progressive than Obama's was. If Obama and Biden were debating in 2008,
He would fall asleep.
like, but like, here's the thing: I don't think he's sleepy. I think that Trump. But here's the thing: I don't think Trump. I think Trump views him as sleepy, but really it's him being, I don't know, calm and collected and dignified. But if
So,
you want, to signify that as sleepy,
so
by
how
all
did
means,
you,
it's
so
sleepy.
how did you feel about him saying that if you gotta make a choice over picking him or Trump,
Then you're
you
not
would
black.
black?
Hmm.
How did you feel about that?
I don't agree with his wording, but I understand his ideology. I don't agree with his wording. I think that he worded that awfully. He is, yes, he says some flubs. He has some flubs, and I'm pretty sure that if you were to ask him right now whether he meant to say it like that, then he would
Well,
take
he
that back.
wouldn't have any choice but to say he didn't mean to say it like that
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
I
But here's
felt
the
like,
thing. Here's the thing. At least he's willing to admit his mistakes. I feel like Trump never admits to a mistake, even if there's video and audio evidence against him to prove him wrong. You're not
bro,
voting for Kanye. Are you voting for Kanye?
no, I'm not voting for
Why are you not voting for Kanye?
Kanye. I have no beef with him. I just felt like he's not ready for that stage just yet. He
And
needs
Trump was?
to. Sure.
Oh man, I could do this all day with you, man. Dude, I listen. I want you to know I do appreciate you sitting and chatting with me, and um, just so you know, I'm still voting Biden.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about you earlier, and I said I ain't gonna wear this shirt because I got this shirt that says hiding from Biden.
And you know what? You know what? I came this close to wearing my Black Lives Matter shirt.
See, look,
I know. I came very close to wearing my Black Lives Matter shirt.
see, we're thinking alike. See, this is a match made in heaven, man. We're good.
Well, I can't say that I agree with most of the things that you said, but I
None of
can,
the things
I,
I said.
but I can, I think we both can agree on this, that more dialogue needs to happen, where we, even though our minds may not change about what we feel about certain things,
Mhm.
being able to at least have a conversation and say, okay, Mark feels this way because Kyrus feels this way because.
Yeah,
And then, you know what? From there, judge away. Whatever you want to do with that information, you can. But what can't happen is just immediate judgment without conversation.
yeah,
I think it is tough because the actions of a lot of people um, make it hard for me to sometimes trust people that support them,
okay,
because I say, if they support them, do they view me the same way that the person that supports them views me, and do they understand why it's hard for me to um, see some of the things that are being posted, or have a normal conversation, knowing full well that, like, they might be supporting somebody that just doesn't view me as a person sometimes,
Yeah.
you know? And I think that's what some people view sometimes, you know, like I have the benefit of knowing you, right?
Yeah.
And I have a platform where I'm able to have this kind of discussion publicly and talk publicly about it. And I have the wherewithal to be able to just be like, okay, listen, I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change mine. Let's just sit and chat about it. But I can't say that I can fault some people that aren't able to that sometimes will have to remove themselves because it is, and I'm talking on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Because it is frustrating. I'm pretty sure that there's some people on your side, or like, that you see that you're like, I'm just going to hit the snooze button on this person because like they're posting all this liberal mainstream media nonsense that I just don't, I just don't want to hear right now. I don't want that crowding my Facebook feed, right? Have you done that before?
Yes.
Right.
Not often, but yeah.
But you've done it before.
Yes. Yeah.
So you can understand why somebody would do it in return.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
All right. I think we ended that on a good note, my friend.
Absolutely.
How are you feeling? Do you feel okay?
I feel great, man.
All right. Hey, so obviously you're voting for Tucker Carlson for 2024, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Candace 2024.
Oh, you just made me. We ended on a good note, and you had to throw that shit out there. You talking about Candace Owens?
Yeah, listen.
You like her?
Oh yeah, man. She's
man. All right. We would need another hour for that one. We need another couple hours for that one. We're not going to open that door about Candace Owens.
We're not opening that door. What's that Pandora's box?
No, we're definitely not going to open that one.
Come on, man. I want to talk about Candace.
No, not on my show. You know what? You can start your own podcast. I'll come on and talk about Candace Owens, but I am not giving her any of my platform. No,
not even a little.
No, not at all. Not at all. There's ain't no way. The fact that I'm even saying her name right now. I can't, dude. Mark, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sitting with me. We're gonna have to do this in two parts. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take, the first half, however long it was, and then that'll be Thursday, and then the second half will be Friday. No, it's all good, man. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for sitting and chatting with me. Everybody else, if you are interested in seeing more Vibe with Kai, you can visit my social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Vibe with Kai. You can also visit me on TikTok and Snapchat, which would your president tried to ban it, but it's still here. Damn it. Follow me on TikTok and on Snapchat at Kyrus Keenan, and then you can visit my website, thevibewithkai.com, where I'm always posting blogs, videos, and reviews that'll help you do good, feel good, be good, and live a good life full of good vibes. Mark Henley, my friend, thank you so much for sitting with me. Don't you dare say Candace Owens. Everybody. Oh my God, no. Listen, I'm on that Biden train. Let's go. Biden 2020, baby. Landslide. Vote blue.
Got a flat. Don't worry about it.
Vote blue. Let's go. Let's go. Ready. We're flipping some states too. I hope you're ready. All right, my friend. Listen, I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you again for sitting down with me. Everybody else, thank you for watching and listening. As always, good luck, God bless, and good vibes.